Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. In the pick'em game, you can pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in that week's game for a chance to win big. And as you already know, I'm going Josh Allen higher in yards every single week. So sign up today with promo code Buffalo Fanatics and get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Visit underdogfantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with promo code Buffalo Fanatics to get your first deposit doubled up to $100.
You're listening to Rated Red on the Buffalo Fanatics Network. Yo, what is going on, Buffalo Fanatics? How is everybody feeling tonight? Saturday Night Live, Rated Rev, brought to you by Underdog Fantasy on the Buffalo Fanatics Network. Everybody right now who's joining me live, do me this favor. If you have not already done so, smash that like and hit the subscribe button. And don't forget, go to supportbf.com and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Yo, I am so excited about tonight's show. And I'm excited as all get out about this massive game between the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow afternoon. But before we get into all of that, I need y'all to do me this one favor. It's the roll call, baby. It's the roll call. Let me know where you guys are watching me from. I hope you guys enjoy the little holiday spirit I got going on. Augustine, I appreciate you, baby. Comes in and says, yo, like the holiday spirit. Yeah, you know, I got to switch things up a little bit, man. You know, I love Christmas right around the corner. But let's get this thing popping, baby. Let's get it popping. Shout out to everybody, man, all the mafia, everybody who's watching me live right now. I've got Debbie Shark coming in from the 716. What's happening, Debbie? Augustine Zambria coming in from Haines City, Florida. Y'all already know what time it is, baby. I've got Michael Williams coming in and says, yo, what's up, Wherever? What's good? Hey, man, it's all good, baby. Michael coming in from Brooklyn, New York, repping the only team in NY. You already know. Alpha ROB coming in from Jersey. Scott Blakely, what's happening, baby? Chi-Town representing. James, Ontario, Canada. Here we go. Andrew coming in from Michigan says, go Bills. Go Bills all day, every day. Laura coming in from the 585 Rock City. Payday Dre, my bad. Chester, VA, 804 up in this mug. What's good, Red? What's good, baby? I'm here, man. I am here, and I'm here with y'all. So shout out to everybody, man, who's joining me live right now. Much love. Very much appreciated. I tell you what, I am fired up about tonight's show, but about this game. This game is massive. In case y'all didn't know, this is huge. And the Buffalo Bills are flying high, coming off of that win in Kansas City against the Kansas City Chiefs, 20-17 victory. Man, you know what? That that game was crazy. That game was crazy. And I know I can't be the only one on here right now who thinks that towards the end of that game, you felt like, man, look here, the way it was looking, these Chiefs are about to come back and to win this game. I couldn't help but feel like, man, look, big guy Patrick Mahomes, he's marching down the field. He's gonna fool around and win this game, isn't he? That's exactly what I thought. Exactly what I thought. And surely I'm not the only one who had that thought. Because I mean, we've seen that rodeo before. We've seen that show before where the Bills in these close games so far this year, towards the end of the game, the defense just breaks down. They break down and they end up losing that game. But to my surprise, the defense actually stepped up. They stepped up. Now, granted, there were some things that took place where, you know, a lot of conversation was had about the refs and all that kind of stuff. And I tell you what, man, like officiating across the NFL this year has been atrocious. We already know that. But that game against the Chiefs and how it transpired towards the end with Kadarius Toney getting flagged for being offsides. Look, the brother was offsides. Okay, he was offsides, and I know Pat Mahomes has already come on here and apologized and all that kind of stuff. But man, like that wasn't a good look for him. It wasn't a good look for the Chiefs. It wasn't a good look for Andy Reid. It wasn't a good look. Period. You know what I'm saying? To have that type of emotion and that type of unprofessionalism, it was just pathetic. It was pathetic, and I hated to see it, but it let me know though that the Bills got under the Chiefs, man. They got under them, and the Chiefs were upset, and they actually kind of sounded like some spoiled brats, you know, who just entitled, used to getting their way. Then all of a sudden things don't go their way and they want to, you know, act a fool. That's exactly what that was like. Now, I'm not going to sit here and spend a whole lot of time, you know, rehashing that. That was yesterday's news. We got bigger fish to fry, but I just thought that was very distasteful, you know, in my opinion, because I didn't get a chance to really share my thoughts about that. But most importantly, the Bills came out with the dub. They came out with the dub in Arrowhead against the Kansas City Chiefs. It was an ugly win, but nevertheless, they won that game. And so now here we are. The Bills are feeling good about themselves. Back at home, Highmark Stadium, the monster game against the Dallas Cowboys. And we're going to talk all about just the stakes that are involved in this game. And I'm going to give you all some of my reasons as to why I believe the Bills are going to cruise to victory. Yeah, I said it. Well, I think the Bills are going to cruise to victory. So keep it locked right here. Don't go anywhere, because later in the show, we're going to dive right into it. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on it as well. But before we get into all that, I've got a super chat from my man, Scott Blakely, coming in already. Scott Blakely, what's good, baby? He says, yo, Rev, we won't even need week 18. We're taking the vision week 17, the greatest story ever told, unveiling right before our very eyes. We got this. Scott Blakely coming through, man. Look, I'm feeling you, baby. I'm not going to lie, man. This is the way things are shaping up. Now, I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself here, but Scott, you know, you're pulling me on in, right? How fantastic, how amazing would it be, right? I heard my man Thigh Doc yesterday on the Rico Report, and he was talking about just how it seems like, and I'm paraphrasing, how like the stars are aligning for the Buffalo Bills. Like, when you look at the adversity that this team has faced over the past, you know, a couple of years, going back to last year and all that kind of stuff, and you see the adversity and you see things lining up, and then like it didn't work out for them. And then this year, Like, who would have thought the Bills would be sitting here right now, 7-6, fighting for their playoff lives? But despite all of that, here we are, and we're starting to see things happening across this throughout the AFC landscape. Now, I hate to really bring up like injuries and whatnot because that's unfortunate. But I mean, it is what has happened in the AFC. We've seen all of these. We've seen these quarterbacks dropping like flies. Joe Burrow, so Justin Herbert, injuring his pinky. I mean, we're seeing all of these injuries take place in the AFC, and it's opening the door for the Bills. And the Bills are in control of their own destiny. And when we look at the landscape of the AFC right now and kind of, just the playoff seeding so far, you have to believe that as long as the Bills continue to win, a lot of those teams who are above them, they're going to end up losing and making way for the Buffalo Bills. And I don't think that many of us thought that the AFC East, that the division would be back up for grabs, right? I think many of us would thought that, hey, just get in, right? The Bills had dug themselves in the hole, and all they need to do is just win and hope to get in. Well, we got a little bit of help last week because the Miami Dolphins blew an epic. I'm talking about they lost. They lost the game to the Tennessee Titans like vintage old Bills. You know what I'm saying? Like losing the game in the end of the game. And I know Miami Dolphins fans are sick. I know they were sick. We saw TD TD Finn's his epic breakdown after that loss. We saw him live. That was hilarious. I know many Dolphins fans were feeling the same way, but they opened the door for the Bills. Is what I'm trying to say. They opened the door for the Bills by losing that game. And I know Dolphins fans were feeling very cocky and confident about how they stood in the division. They had like a 3-game lead over the Bills. And they thought the division was in the wraps. Bills second place, lucky to even make the playoffs. They were feeling good about themselves. And all of a sudden, they see the Bills take out the Chiefs, and then they lose in stunning fashion, horrible fashion, to the Tennessee Titans. And now they see in the rearview mirror, as they're adjusting the rearview mirror, they didn't think they'd have to adjust it, but now they're adjusting, and they see the Buffalo Bills gaining speed. Dolphins fans are afraid. They are afraid. They are afraid like they've never been any more afraid before in their lives, because they feel like at this juncture right now, especially when you consider their schedule, the division could go to the Buffalo Bills. And like Scott Blakely said, the Bills taking it week 17. Week 17 won't let me come down to the week 18 matchup against the Dolphins. That's what I think. I think once the Dolphins lost that game, you can feel like a collective surge of energy from Bills Mafia. Like, oh my gosh, y'all done let us back in this thing. You know what I'm saying? And all of Bills Mafia just got even more amped up. And Bills, some of the players too. They're watching that game. They're like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So everything is lining up. Everything is lining up for the Buffalo Bills. And they just have to continue to handle business. They have to handle business. Now we've got some Cowboys fans in here. Or at least this is one that I've seen. I'm gonna give them a little bit of time here Dallas Cowboys 2011 says, yo, bro thinks that it's about to be easy for the Bills. And he's laughing. Look, we're going to talk about this here in a little bit later. But first of all, I didn't say it's going to be easy. But cruise means it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? You're going to find out. You're going to find out. I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but make sure you stay tuned. And by the way, since you're here, hit that like. Smash that like and subscribe to the channel. Okay? Now, getting into this thing. Before I jump into this Cowboys matchup, I do want to kind of circle back and just talk about some things that happened so far that really piqued my interest over the week. Namely, number one was I'm talking about just news throughout the NFL. Did you guys hear about that? I'm trying to remember where that report came from, and it may have been like rumor, but somebody put it out there, and I'm trying to remember who it was. But Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft have decided to part ways at the end of the season. That's word on the street. That's word on the street. And if Bill Belichick is out, what does that do for the division, if anything at all? And where do you see Bill Belichick going? Or are you like, man, Rev, I don't even give a flip where he goes. He's out of here. Fine. Let him walk. Let him go. I just thought that, I mean, it's because, you got a coach like Bill Belichick who's been coaching the Patriots for God only knows how long, right? All of those championships. And it's newsworthy whenever a coach of that magnitude leaves. Now, we know that a lot of the conversation was, Bill is not the same without Tom Brady. It's kind of like the chicken or the egg conversation. Was Brady responsible for the Patriots' success, or was it Belichick? I mean, our argument can be made now that it was probably Tom Brady. Because what has Bill Belichick done since Tom Brady has left? Well, absolutely nothing. Right? And granted, I mean, come on now, like Tom Brady, like you can't. Tom Brady, he's the GOAT, greatest of all time. You're not going to find Tom Brady on the tree. You know what I'm saying? Like Brady's don't come on grow. They don't grow on trees, and so they haven't had any much luck in the quarterback department. They thought they had somebody in Mac Jones. He turned out to be nobody. They've been going back and forth with him and Bailey Zappi and all that. They don't have a quarterback. And they have no weapons on offense, and so they've really been stinking up the joint since Brady left and everybody left New England. But I'm just curious because I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do. You always want to kind of have your eyes in the division and find out, and just kind of take a look at what other teams are doing within your division and what's going to happen. And if, Belichick does in fact leave, I'm wondering who will fill in that void. Who will fill in that void? The Patriots. I mean, you've got Bill O'Brien who's sitting there. Maybe they just go with him, former head coach, or if Bill Belichick leaves, maybe he takes him with him to be his OC. I don't know, man. But that's just interesting. I thought, man, Bill Belichick is finally about to leave. Ain't that something? Where is he gonna go? And, people have already started talking about, hey, man, and they already made memes and everything. He's going to the Chargers because, we know that the Chargers fired their head coach and GM after that. Oh my gosh, man, that loss to the Vegas Raiders of all teams. Lost, but what did they give it? Was it like 60-something points? Yeah, you got to go. And I actually thought that the decision for the Chargers to get rid of at least Staley was well overdue, long overdue. I've got a brother who's a Chargers fan, and I tell him every year, I'm like, man, how much longer are you guys going to give Staley? That guy is a terrible coach. He's awful. Awful. And so they finally decided to get rid of him. And you talk about a team that's wasting the talent of their franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert. It's been the Chargers, because there is no way in heck a team like that with Herbert, Keenan Allen, rookie Quentin Johnson. Of course, they got Mike Williams, but he can't stay healthy. Austin Eckler, a defense with Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. There is no way that team should not be neck and neck in the division with the Kansas City Chiefs and in the playoffs, at least in the playoffs. Staley, man. Staley. So they got to find a coach. And I would like to know just what direction they're going to go, because now they got to find a coach and GM tandem. And people are talking about, hey, man, Bill Belichick down into L.A. I don't know, because Bill Belichick hadn't been a good GM. He really hadn't. And he hadn't been much of a quarterback whisperer either. So I don't know if the Chargers want to go that route. They might want to look somewhere else. But anyway, this ain't no Chargers podcast. It ain't no Bill Belichick podcast. This is a Buffalo Bills podcast, baby. And we are here to talk about the Buffalo Bills. And some news about these Bills so far approaching this game. We've got to talk about the injury. And so when we pull up the injury report, we already know what's going on. Man, this is tough. This is tough for the Bills so far. I mean, they're out. They're going to be without AJ Epinesa and safety Micah Hyde. So AJ Epinesa is dealing with the rib injury that he sustained last week against the Chiefs game, and AJ Epinesa, man, he has been playing very well for the Bills. So they're definitely going to miss his presence around, on that defensive line rotation, and then they're going to be without safety Micah Hyde. Now this is another loss that could have some long-term ramifications. Our very own thigh doctor, Alex Lucci, he said, on the Rico report, he believes that this injury by Micah Hyde is career-ending, because this is the second time he has sustained a stinger. And we know that injury that he first sustained that knocked him out for the year, the neck injury, coming back with the stinger. He said that it would only make it that much easier for him to get another stinger after that, and another one, and another one. And lo and behold, here he is, the second stinger. And now he's out this game. And according to Sean McDermott, like, it's not a day-to-day thing, it's a week-to-week thing. And IR is not off the table for Micah Hyde. So that's a tough loss for Micah Hyde. I know he didn't want to go out this way. He was, trying hard to fight back and to stay in and just gut it out, because he wants to win, man. Like when you think about him and Jordan Poyer and just what those two have done for the Buffalo Bills since they really gotten here, they were the staples to the defense. I mean, like when Sean McDermott first got hired in free agency, what he did before he drafted Tre'Davious White, I mean, he went in free agency and he got him Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. I mean, those guys right there, those two safeties in tandem, they were critical to his defense and to him installing his defense and bringing in the type of DNA that he wants, and the leadership and even beyond that, I mean, just the play. And so to see these guys right here on the back end of their careers it's tough, right? It's tough, and you can see it on the field too. I mean, you can see their play kind of dropping a little bit here. I mean, these guys, they're on the plus side of 30, and you only wonder, like, how much longer do they have to play, and unfortunately, this could be the end for Micah Hyde. This really could be. And So the Bills are they're gonna have their hands full. I mean, Brandon Beane, I should say, is gonna have his hands full trying to replace the likes of Micah Hyde and even potentially Jordan Poyer at the end of the season. That's a safety tandem that has been the best safety tandem in the NFL for quite some time, even though they haven't really been getting their love and their roses. Except for like 1 year, when they went, all pro. So it's tough to see Micah Hyde pulling for him, but man, you really don't know. Right. You really don't know. So other guys are gonna have to step up. Other guys are gonna have to step up and fill that void with Micah Hyde. You've got Taylor Rapp, you've got Cam Lewis who can fill in too. So the Bills are going to need all hands on deck. They're definitely going to need all hands on deck against this matchup against the Dallas Cowboys because that team is no slouch, man. Offensively, the Dallas Cowboys, they come with it. They do. I think they lead the league in points scored. I mean, that offense is one of the top offenses in the National Football League. So when you're without one of your top safeties, it's going to be difficult to fill in that void. But I have faith in the other guys like Cam Lewis and Taylor Rapp to fill that void. And I think the Bills they're going to be fine. They're going to be just fine. The Cowboys, though, I think the Cowboys are dealing with injuries of their own. I'm trying to find their injury report because I think earlier in the week, man, it's like a sick bug or I don't know if it's stomach bug or a flu bug or whatever, man, was hitting them brothers hard. And I'm wondering, I know they got Hankins is going to be out. But I'm trying to think who else was on that injury report for the Cowboys. I think Stephon Gilmore was on there. Y'all forgive me as I'm trying to pull it up here. My internet is lagging. It's going kind of slow right now. But anyway, I'm pretty sure it's Stephon Gilmore. I'm pretty sure it was Stephon Gilmore. And if that's the case, now granted, I don't believe that he's not going to play. That's not what I'm saying. But man, if they've got like a sick bug, if they had a sick bug going on and guys who were getting sick, whether it's flu related or whatever, it could bode well for the Buffalo Bills. And the reason I say that is because of this. They got to travel, and you have to figure that they're going to be tired on the road, a long road trip in the elements, and then you're trying to recover from that kind of a sickness. So here's to hoping that the Buffalo Bills or the Dallas Cowboys, or the guys who have been injured and been dealing with that kind of sickness, are not back to full strength. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't find their injury report. I'm trying to scroll through Twitter. I can't find it right now. But anyway, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because I want to know who else was on that report. Super chat coming in from James. James, I appreciate it. He says, yo, Rev, hope you're doing well. You're taking a lot of crap from your fellow Texans this week for the game. Oh, he's asking me the question if I'm taking a lot of crap from fellow Texans from the game. That's because I live in Texas. Love your podcast, bro. Keep it going. Man, James, I appreciate you, baby. Man, I live in it's a Texas, baby. I live in Cowboys country. My wife is a Cowboys fan. Okay, so there you go. So you're gonna hear it. You hear all the time, man. It's Cowboys this, Cowboys that. I ain't even tripping. I'm not taking a whole lot of crap from them, but I ain't really worried about it. As my wife walks in here and she's like, she's trying to throw some shade, about the Cowboys. Hey, man, this is definitely a house divided. And we circled this game. Unfortunately, man, we weren't able to go out there. We wanted to go to this game, but we weren't able to do it. But we're going to be watching this game, and we're going to be fighting. We definitely gonna be fighting, wifey and I. I tried to pull her on my side, man, but hey, it just didn't work, man. I guess I just ain't got enough pull. After 20 years, you'd figure, my wife would side with me, but she just ain't giving up the Cowboys, man. It is what it is. She's from the area, kind of close by. She got family and relatives out there and whatever. But hey, man, it is what it is. But needless to say, yeah, I'm definitely in Cowboys country, right in the thick of it. But it makes it all the more sweeter when the Bills spank that tail. And then I got the bragging rights, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's keep it moving, baby. Let's keep it moving. So, as we approach this game, we know what's up, buddy. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? My son, come here, son. Here, go around that way. My son wants to come in and say what's up. They just came back and had something to eat.
What's up?
Say what's up, buddy.
What's up?
Nathan, who are you going for in the game? Are the Buffalo Bills or the Dallas Cowboys?
The Buffalo Bills that are coming on.
The Buffalo Bills?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to win this game?
I think the Cowboys, but I don't know. You never know.
So wait, you think the Cowboys are going to win this game?
Buffalo.
There you go.
Buffalo been losing a bunch of times. That's why I choose the Cowboys.
Say that again in the mic. Say it again.
The Buffalo Bills have been losing sometimes, and that's why I voted that the Cowboys would win.
I'm gonna kick your butt. I'm gonna kick your butt. No, get out of here. Get out of here. No, it's too late. I love you.
Okay. Buffalo Bills.
You can't change it now. It's too late.
Buffalo Bills.
Get out of here, man. Knucklehead. Yeah, I can't believe that. I can't believe this. I got my son in here to give him some airtime. Man, I try to give him some airtime. My son is like, he's with his dad. At least I thought. At least I thought he was with me. Cowboys, Bills fan. I brought him on here because I'm trying to set. I'm thinking that he's going to go for the Bills. He says, I'm rooting for the Bills, but I think the Cowboys are going to win because the Bills have been losing. Yeah, doggone it, man! I tell you, just when you think you know somebody, you don't know anybody in your own household. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. My own son, but I've got a daughter. Let me see. She's a Bills fan. I'm gonna bring her on. I'm gonna bring her on because I want her to talk because she's jumped in. She jumped on the Bills bandwagon. Alpha Rob says, "Yo, man, your son betrayed you." He definitely did. He definitely did, man. I did not think he was gonna say that. That shocked me. And so, look, I'm feeling some type of way. Daniel Alvarez says, "Yo, smart kid." Nah, man. I mean, he's smart, but he got the wrong take. So I'm gonna bring in my other child. She's a smarter child. Come here, girl. Come here. Y'all come take a look at my beautiful baby. Come here. Get down. There it is. Oh. This is. Can you sit up a little bit? There you go. This is my daughter Erica. Tell everybody why you are a Bills fan.
Why?
Yeah, you got to talk to the mic, babe.
Oh, I guess because I got it because of my dad. Honestly, I really like the team a lot. I like Josh. I like Diggs. I don't know. They're a good team. Honestly, they persevere through like the tough times and stuff. And I think they're gonna do a good job tomorrow.
So all right. So are you picking the Bills?
Yeah.
You picking the Bills?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now, do you have a score prediction?
I think it's gonna be a close game.
Close game. Here,
game.
get the mic.
It's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be a close game. I don't have a score prediction. What's yours?
I'm gonna talk about mine a little bit later.
Oh, good.
No score prediction? No? All right. Okay. All right, baby. I'll see you later. So there we go. That was one of my daughters, my youngest daughter. She's the smartest one. You know what I'm saying? My son betrayed me. I had to kick him out of the room. But I had to have at least one of them come on with me. Now my other daughter, I've got two daughters. I got three kids. She's not into football. And so I ain't even gonna waste my time bringing her on. Maybe later, we'll see. I might bring her on for the score prediction. We'll see. But I had to kind of, I had to bring her on just to kind of correct the wrong for my son. I couldn't go out like that having my son picking the Cowboys. That just was not about to happen. Sophia says, "Yo, beautiful family, Rev. You are a blessed man. God bless." Thank you, Sophia. I really appreciate it. I definitely am a blessed man. So anyway, that kind of threw me off for a loop there. I did not expect my son to do me like that, but it's all good. Bills Cowboys. This is a big, big game. Monster mashup. Did I say monster mashup? Monster matchup at Highmark Stadium. And I want to jump right on in here and talk about it. Yo, Debbie says, "Yo, hey, keep bringing Erica on." Yeah, Debbie, you're right. She has good perspective. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely gonna bring her in and let her talk about some of these Bills here later. I may start doing that here from here on out. She may bring us some good luck. So we'll see. If the Bills lose, I ain't bringing her on no more. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, let's move on. So now, as we kind of preview this matchup here, we've got a quarterback matchup that's fantastic. We've got Dak Prescott, Josh Allen. Many would think that that's the homer in me talking. But the national media would say, yo, Dak Prescott is in the running for MVP. And I would not disagree with that. I mean, Dak Prescott has been doing his thing, right? He has led his team to a 10-3 record. They are one of the top, if not the top, offenses in the National Football League right now. Dak has really silenced a lot of the doubters who thought that, he wasn't all that, he wasn't worthy enough to be considered in that upper echelon of quarterbacks in the National Football League. But Dak has, he has come out this year, man, and he has been on fire. You look at Dak's numbers right now, I mean, so it's crazy. So Dak has got 3,500 yards right now. 3,500 passing yards right now, 69.3% completion percentage, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 6 interceptions. That's nuts. 6 interceptions. And I think that's kind of, the difference. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say the difference, but it's a big difference when you compare Dak and Josh Allen, because we know Josh's interceptions are up there. You know what I'm saying? So when you got a margin like that, 28 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, I mean, it looks good. And then you got 3,500 passing yards. Your team is winning. It's no wonder why he is considered to be probably the current front runner for the MVP. However, I would be remiss if I did not put Josh Allen in that same conversation. And before a lot of the Josh Allen haters who are Cowboys fans in here right now, they get to flapping their gums and talking about, man, there's no way in the world you can consider Josh Allen in the MVP conversation. Maybe not right now, because we know the MVP ain't really about most valuable player and numbers. It's more or less about wins. What does your team look like record-wise? And even though wins aren't necessarily a quarterback stat in and of themselves, they look at it, right? They look at it. But when I look at Josh Allen right now, and Josh Allen's numbers this year, you can put them right alongside Dak Prescott. right alongside it. If you got Josh right now sitting at 3,400 yards, 3,447, 25 passing touchdowns, and then 10 rushing touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. So Josh has got a total of 35 touchdowns. 35 touchdowns right now, close to 3,500 yards passing. But of course, the number that people are going to be looking at are the interceptions, which is crazy because even though, people want to harp on the interceptions that Josh throws, they really try to dismiss what he has done and what he's currently doing. And so when you compare these two guys, I mean, they're neck and neck. I think this matchup right now could be the matchup between two MVP caliber MVP candidates this year. Now, I will say this. If Josh Allen leads this team to victory against the Cowboys, you better believe it that Josh Allen's going to be back in that conversation for MVP. Regardless of the Bills' record, they knocked off the defending Super Bowl champion, the Kansas City Chiefs. They knock off the Dallas Cowboys at home. He is right back in that conversation. Right back in that conversation. So you can't trip. Haters gonna hate. They're gonna say what they want to say, but it is what it is, man. You can't deny the numbers. All right. And looking at this matchup, man, it's really going to be a key matchup. Even though they're not going up against each other, but it is going to be fantastic to actually sit there and watch these two quarterbacks go at it tomorrow. At the same time, as a Bills fan, I do not want Dak Prescott to do anything tomorrow. Nothing. Which is really going to lead me right back to one of my main topics of conversation. But before, hold on. You know what? Let me put a pin in that because I do want to bring something up. I wanted to talk about, and I was just reminded of this. I wanted to talk about some of the Bills' stat leaders, okay? Because here's my thing. I don't want nobody to forget just how good the Bills team is right now. The Bills are better than their record indicates. Okay? They are much better than their record indicates. And when you look at it, here's just some stat leaders from the Bills. Josh Allen right now, 35 total touchdowns, like I mentioned earlier. 25 passing touchdowns, tied for second place in the NFL. QBR 70.6, third. 3,447 passing yards is seventh. Okay. Stephon Diggs. He's been having kind of a quiet year, right? But still, he's tied for seventh in the league in receptions with 87 receptions. He's just under 1,000 yards receiving, 193 yards receiving. We know that we're going to get him back involved. It's just a matter of time. Got 5 games remaining. Stephon Diggs is going to get back involved. He's going to get well over 1,000 yards receiving. And then he's got 8 touchdowns, tied for fourth. James Cook. James Cook right now, 10th in rushing with 789 rushing yards. Who would have thought that at this year, at the beginning of the year, that we'd be talking about having a top 10 back in the NFL? And James Cook is right there, 789 rushing yards. Terrell Bernard, 112 tackles, puts him 12th. The sack leader for the Buffalo Bills, Leonard Floyd, with 9.5 sacks. And so those are some of your stat leaders for the Buffalo Bills right now. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, James Cook, Terrell Bernard, Leonard Floyd. I'll tell you this, man. Like, the Bills when you look at the defense, because I'm thinking about Leonard Floyd, I'm looking at that number 9.5 sacks. Man, oh man, oh man. Did we luck up on a brother like that? Kudos to Brandon Beane for what he was able to do and bringing in Leonard Floyd to this team and how remarkable he has been for the Bills in that defense. 9.5 sacks so far. Remarkable. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. And then you look at a guy like Terrell Bernard. Many thought that the Buffalo Bills had an issue with the middle linebacker position when Tremaine Edmonds left in free agency and he signed to the Chicago Bears. We thought, man, oh man, the Bills have a huge void at middle linebacker. And we heard, at the beginning of the year, well, kind of like in training camp, that they chose Terrell Bernard and I think Tyrell Dodson. But then Terrell Bernard got injured and then we didn't hear anything of him. All of a sudden, when Terrell Bernard gets back on the field, he has been on fire, having a remarkable season, really doing some things. I mean, when you look at him on tape and on the film, like, he is playing better, in my opinion, than Tremaine Edmonds has been playing for the Buffalo Bills. He really has. And he's been making more impact plays for this team. At a fraction of the cost, the brother is still on his rookie contract. So to get that kind of production from Terrell Bernard on a rookie contract is fantastic. Fantastic. And so when you look at these guys here, Leonard Floyd, Terrell Bernard, I mean, the list goes on. Ed Oliver having himself another remarkable season. Another guy across the defense that has really just stood out to me so far. I mean, you look at a guy like Rasul Douglas. A guy like Rasul Douglas on this defense has been a fantastic pickup by Brandon Beane. Fantastic pickup. Like, there's a reason why you call him Big Baller Beane. That's the reason. You bring a guy like that, and I'm surprised that the Green Bay Packers were willing to let him go. When you bring in a guy like Rasul Douglas, and he has been, to me, when you look at Rasul, it's almost like he's been here, like the entire season. Like that's how great of a fit he has been on this defense. And he has really solidified that cornerback position alongside Christian Benford. And I will say this, and I'm going to ask this question, like do the Bills, or will the Bills have a cornerback problem at the end of the year? And by that, I mean Rasul Douglas, Tre'Davious White. What are the Bills going to do at that position at the end of the year, going into next year? That is going to be probably maybe one of the bigger headlines, the offseason for the Buffalo Bills is figuring out that decision right there going forward. But we can table that conversation for a later time. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there because, I love what Rasul has done for the Buffalo Bills. And for me, man, look here, I want this brother here long term. I want him locked in. I do. I don't want him going anywhere. And I love him paired up with Christian Benford. We'll see what happens with Tre'Davious White going forward. But for now, man, that has been a remarkable addition. Remarkable addition. Laura comes in and Laura says, that's a tough question. A tough question. I love Rasul. And I love Trey. Facts. Absolutely. And so, like, I don't want to get too far ahead and jump into that conversation, fully, but I did just want to just kind of put it out there a little bit. That's gonna be huge. What Brandon Beane is going to do going forward at that position with Rasul, with Tre'Davious. And then you still got Kyrie Elam. Anyway, moving along. Shout out to you guys, man. for joining me and for sticking with your brother right now. We're about 10 minutes, under an hour, 50 minutes going into the show. And now is the time where I talk about the reasons why I believe the Bills are going to cruise to victory. Why are they going to cruise? Look, number one reason for me, and it's really no surprise, but I'll say it like this. The Dallas Cowboys, as good as they are, and this is no shade, no disrespect, but as good as the Dallas Cowboys are, they are not the same team away from home. They are not the same team away from home. Let's take a look at the numbers. The Dallas Cowboys at home are undefeated. 7-0 in Dallas, right? 7-0. With wins over the Jets, the Patriots, Rams, Giants, Commanders, Seahawks, and the Eagles. But on the road, though, the Cowboys are 3-3. 3-3 on the road. Their wins on the road. Well, I'll save the wins for later because I got a point I want to make. Losses on the road. Arizona Cardinals, San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles. Look, let me just say this right here. See, this is why I love trolls, man. I love trolls, and I love guys who or gals, whoever this may be, who like to talk trash. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you, NC Street News, for coming on the show. He's laughing and says, yo, this guy's a clown. And then he says, yo, the Jets and Patriots, who the Bills lost to. Look, I'm just giving you the facts, brother or sister. Why are you getting defensive? It is what it is. The Cowboys, 7-0 at home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 7-0 at home. But we're going to talk about their losses and who they won to. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Because even though the Bills lost to the Jets and the Patriots, there's some games that I know the Cowboys wish they had back too. You know what I'm saying? But even on a much bigger point, I'm going to get to it right here. You look at the Cowboys on the road. 3-3 on the road. Losses to the Cardinals, the Niners, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Their wins on the road are the Giants. Look, the Giants, who are 5-8, they won 40-0, week 1. Second win on the road goes to the Chargers, 20-17. Close win on the road to the Chargers, who are 5-9. And then their other road victory goes to the 1-12 Carolina Panthers, who, how befitting them being 1-12, as they are going to be probably primed for the number 1 overall pick in the draft next year. So the Cowboys road wins. I'll tell you what, man. Look, the Cowboys road wins are against teams with a combined win-loss record of 11-29. 11-29. The Cowboys have no road win against a team whose record is above 500. Not one. Not a single one. When you look at the Cowboys at home, the players of the teams that they've won against have a combined win-loss record of 39-52. So, in fact, the Cowboys have only one win. In their 10 wins, only one win against a team with a winning record. Only one. And that's the Eagles, who are 10-3. But on the road, combined win-loss record of the teams that they beat, 11-29, none of which are above 500. Look, say what you want to say about the Bills. Say what you want to say about the Bills losing to the Jets and losing to the Patriots. Your Dallas Cowboys, you better watch them, because they are not the same outside of the comfort of AT&T Stadium. Once they get on the road, they lose. And they don't play hot. And they got to travel all the way to Buffalo, New York, in the weather, in the cold, in the rain. And you got guys who are sick, dealing with flu-like symptoms and all that kind of stuff. So, before you want to clap and talk your trash, you better make sure that these Cowboys are ready, because they are not the same team on the road. And they are coming up against a team on the road that they don't really want to play. I'm just going to be honest. They don't want to play. They don't want to play them. Because even though the Bills are 7-6, they are a far better team than their record indicates. And we've seen the Buffalo Bills do what they've done before at this stage in the season, in the regular season. First of all, let's just go back to the Eagles game. The Bills were this close to winning that game against the Eagles, an uncommon opponent who they've never played before in their lives. Never played them. I think the last time they played them was years ago. Completely different team. On the road in Philly, lost in overtime by 3 points. They go to Kansas City, defending Super Bowl champions, beat them. You look at the offense and how they've been playing since they had their brand new offensive coordinator in Joe Brady, and you look at what Josh Allen's been doing. I'm telling you right now, the Cowboys on the road to Highmark Stadium, they don't want no parts of it. Now, if they're playing in Dallas, it might be a different story. But I'm telling you right now, as a Bills fan, and look, Bills Mafia, don't worry about this. Don't worry about it, okay? The Cowboys are not the same. They aren't the same on the road. Second reason, to me, is the Bills are desperate. You know, there's this thing about comfort. Comfort. You know, when you're comfortable, you get pretty content. And the Cowboys are comfortable right now. At 10-3, everybody's talking about them. Oh, look how great Dak Prescott is, and he is. Oh, look how great the offense is, and they are. Look at what they've done. It's admirable. But they hadn't really faced any adversity. What adversity has the Cowboys faced? None. Meanwhile, you have the Buffalo Bills. We got the adversity they faced last year. And they come into this year, and things are not going their way. They've dug themselves into this hole. And they're climbing their way out of it. But this team right now, understanding what they've done and what they have to do in order to punch their ticket in the postseason, they've been here before. They've faced adversity before in the season. I mean, the Cowboys are sitting pretty comfortably right now. They're feeling good on defense. I mean, look, these guys are healthy. The Buffalo Bills have had to overcome the losses of three key starters across three levels of their defense. DaQuan Jones on the defensive line, Matt Milano, the linebacker. Tre'Davious White, again, Achilles injury for the year. Gone. They've had to overcome that adversity. And they have. Injuries are no excuse, but they are facts. They are facts. You show me how good the Cowboys would be without Micah Parsons for the year. Without Stephon Gilmore for the year. Don't want somebody else. You're going for the year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Adversity to me is what's really what makes winners show up. You know what I'm saying? Like if you've been through something, you can reference it when you go through something again. And these Buffalo Bills have been through it. And now they're desperate. And you don't want to face a team that's desperate. At 7-6, they know that they have to win every single game. Many people would say, or some people say, well, you know, they can afford to lose against the Cowboys because it's an NFC game. Forget that. Not the Buffalo Bills, baby. Not these guys. The Bills are in playoff mode right now. Right now. Locked and loaded in playoff mode right now, meaning that it's win and move on. Lose and go home. That's their mentality. Even though they understand they have 5 games remaining on the schedule, they know that they're playing for more than just the regular season. They're playing for the postseason. And if they lose, their postseason hopes are almost gone. So you've got to face a team on the road who the Cowboys are not good at playing on the road. An uncommon team, a team that you haven't played in a couple of years since Thanksgiving that, oh, by the way, when you remember, in your house, you got embarrassed. Thirdly, it's in the weather, in the elements. Dak Prescott, not good in rain. Cowboys don't want no part of the cold. And the Cowboys are comfortable. They feeling like we ain't really got to win this game. We're going to the playoffs. We're 10-3. We're feeling good. If we win, we win. If we lose, so be it. It's not going to really make any difference for us and our hopes. That's going to be y'all's demise. That's going to be y'all's demise. And Bill I Am says, I wouldn't say desperate, but I would say motivated. Motivated by pressure. Well, I mean, it could be both. It could be both because they are definitely desperate to win. They know the stakes. Josh Allen has talked about the stakes. They already understand it. Look, these guys are so loaded. These guys are so locked in. It's remarkable. And we have a point of reference. We can go back to last year and how the Bills went on a run where they won multiple games in a row. The year before then, I think it was in 2021, that season, in December, man, the Bills were facing, I mean, they're kind of in the same boat right now as they are right now, where they were second place in the AFC East. The Patriots at that time were first place in the East. And the Bills went on a run and did not lose another game the regular season and then lose until the divisional game against the Chiefs. Meanwhile, the Patriots ended up losing and falling apart in the regular season. Bills went on to win. And like Richard Forbes says, it seems like we go on a run every year. That's true. Like this team knows how to, and this is when you want to be playing your best ball. Really, I mean, really it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, like when we go over the course of the season and we look at some of these losses, do you wish that the Bills had handled business against teams like the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots? Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely. But every year, from every team, there's going to be those losses that you're like, man, how in the world did we lose to this team? How in the world did we lose to that team? You know what I'm saying? It happens. I'm sure the Cowboys are like, man, how in the world do we lose to the Cardinals? I mean, it happens. But they've handled their business. Albeit against a very weak schedule, but they've handled their business. Let's just be honest, okay? Let's just be honest. And so the Bills have been here before, man. They're desperate. They're desperate and they're motivated. Okay? But another reason for me is I think, and this kind of goes back to last week's win. Man, I saw something last week. I believe that the Bills were going to beat the Chiefs anyway. But, you know, the talk of the week last week was all about Sean McDermott and that hit piece by Tyler Dunn on Sean McDermott and questioning the man's character. I felt like we would see just how true that may be if the Bills lost that game in a way that indicated the players kind of gave up on the coach. It kind of like when you see the Chargers right here losing against the Vegas Raiders, giving up 60-something points. You know what I'm saying? The Bills didn't do that. They fought their you-know-what's off. They got that victory, and we saw the post-game speech in the locker room by not just Sean McDermott. Then we heard the players in the back saying, "Yo, hey, we got your back, coach. We got your back." And then followed up by the GM, Brandon Beane. He gives a game ball to Sean McDermott, and he says, "We got your back." And so you saw that love right there, man, and everybody surrounded the coach, and you know these players played for coach, and it wasn't just for that game. I think going forward, man, the Bills want to prove that Sean McDermott is their guy. They don't want to make any changes. And I think they're going to continue to play. Like, they use that as a chip. Oh, you going to come at my coach like that? All right. I got his back. We got his back. And so they're playing for much more than just a win. And that's what I love so much about this team, man, is that this team, man, they play for each other. And you can see it. You can see it, man. Even in the losses, you can see how much it bothers them, how much it bothers guys like Josh Allen. You know, but this team right now, they're playing for something that's more than themselves. That's bigger than themselves. It's bigger than a win on the win-loss column. It's bigger than that. And they had a taste of how close it was to be in that Super Bowl. Just how close it was. And the Bills want to go back. They want it so badly. I'm telling you right now, ever since that loss to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, they have been yearning to get to the Super Bowl, yearning to get to it. Devastating divisional round loss against the Chiefs. And we all thought 13 seconds. We thought, man, that was a year. Devastating loss last year in the playoffs to the Bengals. This team right here is hungry. They're not satisfied at all. And so when you look at it, although it's see, some of the stuff is you can't really see it on the stat sheet. But it's just, if you know the team and you know how they operate, there's some of these underlying things about a team that motivates them, that makes them dangerous. And you may not see it on the outside, but if you cut them up and you see that heart, that's some of the key things, man, that makes them dangerous. And for the Bills, when they're desperate, when they're playing for their lives, for their postseason lives, they're playing for one another, they're playing for their coach, they're playing for the Bills Mafia. They're playing for their pride. You see what I'm saying? That stuff you don't see on the stat sheet. But that's why I feel so confident about these Buffalo Bills going forward. That's why I feel like this team, man. Look, I'm like Pierre. I'm like the Kingpin. The Bills ain't losing another game. They are not losing another game because we have seen this before. And we see it in their eyes. And every time this team faces adversity, they've been able to come out on top. The end of the season, they face incredible adversity throughout the year. And at the tail end of the season, they go on a run. So why should I, as a Bills fan, not expect the same thing to happen? I expect it to happen. I do. 1-0 started last week. The run started last week. They're 1-0. And I expect it to happen tomorrow against the Dallas Cowboys soon. And we are going to see it soon. So now let's talk about some keys. Let's talk about some keys, man. And I'm going to get to your comments here. I see Will Diggs says, yo, for sure, man, I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm a Commanders fan. All right. Commanders fan. Hey, look, I'll tell you right now, you're going to become a fan. You're going to become a fan. And you're going to want the Cowboys to lose. I'm just telling you right now. The keys to victory for me. Because when I look at this game, I look at this matchup. Now, granted, the Bills have to come with it, which I believe they will. But for me, one of the keys, and I'm going to start on the defensive side of the ball. To me, it starts with a matchup between Taron Johnson, and CeeDee Lamb. I, for one, absolutely love CeeDee Lamb. Love him. I'm a huge OU fan. I loved him ever since then. He's just a fantastic guy and a remarkable player. I'm glad to see him finally getting his just due. Right, the guy is elite. So that matchup between he and Taron Johnson is going to be key because the Dallas Cowboys have been moving him around now. I've been putting him in the slot a lot, which is going to be matched up against Taron Johnson. Taron Johnson is one of the best nickel cornerbacks in the National Football League. Okay, so he's going to have his hands full. So the Buffalo Bills are going to want to stop Dak Prescott in that offense. It starts with CeeDee Lamb. You have to do whatever you have to do to take away a team's main threat. We've seen it happen. We saw it happen last week against the Chiefs. Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, made a concerted effort to take Diggs out of the game, and he was successful. So when you have a top flight defensive coordinator, what you're going to do is you're going to want to take out the opposing team's top player. That is CeeDee Lamb. So I expect Sean McDermott to have a plan of stopping or taking him out of the game and making the Cowboys rely on their secondary weapons. Brandon Cook, Michael Gallup, other guys like that. Another key, though, for the Bills, and this is going to stay on the defense side of the ball, is they cannot sleep on Jake Ferguson. That tight end is probably one of their second weapons. I mean, when you look at, you got CeeDee Lamb, and then after CD, it has to go Jake Ferguson, right? And the Buffalo Bills are going to have to make sure they key in on him. Now, that's a matchup where, it could be tough because who's gonna take that matchup? I don't feel confident in Tyrell Dodson matching up against Jake Ferguson. I really don't. And so perhaps in this game, we see the Buffalo Bills deploy more of a dime package where they sub Tyrell Dodson out with a safety like Jordan Poyer. Maybe they bring Jordan Poyer in the box and they put Taylor Rapp back out there in safety, so that way they have, more of a coverage guy on their tight end, Jake Ferguson. That's me. That's what I expect to see. I could be wrong, but I feel like, we've seen Sean McDermott do it before. He's put Jordan Poyer on guys before, and so I think that's going to be because you don't want to put Tyrell. You don't want to do it. Tyrell Dodson he's okay for what he does, but he's not good in coverage. He really isn't. Well, you got a guy like Jake Ferguson who has 570 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns. He's a weapon on that team. And so you have to make sure that you put somebody on him who can give you a better chance at slowing him down. And that to me is Jordan Poyer. Go dime. So we may see a lot more dime package going into this game. Another key for me is the Bills are going to have to, as well, look at Tony Pollard. Now, I know Pollard hasn't really been doing a whole lot here lately, but, to me, you have to make a team one-dimensional, right? You don't want to see them in a rhythm, and their offense is very balanced, and they're able to really just go throughout their playbook and really call whatever they want to. You want to make them one-dimensional, and to me, so you have to shut them down. And so they have potential. With Tony Pollard is that kind of guy behind that offensive line, mind you. They can run the rock. And so if the Bills are not careful, especially in this weather, Tony Pollard could have himself a good game. So the Buffalo Bills need to make sure that they slow down Tony Pollard, shut down the run first, make them one-dimensional in the pass game, which will kind of fits more with the strengths of the Buffalo Bills defense, which is in a pass defense. You know what I'm saying? So that's on the defensive side of the ball. Okay. Key, CeeDee Lamb, put Poyer on Jake Ferguson, stop Tony Pollard in that running game. Now, offensively for the Buffalo Bills, because I could say pressure as well, right? But Dak Prescott, he's been getting the ball out pretty quickly, so I'm not too sure how much pressure the Bills are going to be able to put on him. I definitely don't want the Bills to kind of sit back in coverage. They're going to have to pressure him, get him off of his spot. But I'm not expecting a whole lot of sacks coming out of his game. But if they can pressure him in key moments and get him off of his spot, especially in the rain, it could bode well for the Buffalo Bills defense. Offensively for the Buffalo Bills, a key for the Bills offensively, to me, they have to establish the run. They really do. James Cook has been a surprise. I mentioned at the top of the show, James Cook is 10th in the league in rushing. He has been playing lights out. And under Joe Brady, the new offensive coordinator, been used heavily in the pass game. So for me, that's where it starts. Well, I wouldn't say that's where it starts, but that's the key for the Bills. Get James Cook involved in that offense early and often. Okay, early and often. Establish a run, but mix it up with the pass. I love what Joe Brady's been doing. I really do. I love it. I look at James Cook right now. The brother's got 789 yards on the ground. He's averaging 4.8 yards per clip. He's just playing well. He really is. But receiving numbers, though, I'm liking it. And I think that's where we're going to see James Cook excel. This year, he's got, I'm trying to pull it up here. I'm trying to look at his receiving numbers. Where did it go? I just lost it. Doggone it. I just lost it. I'm trying to find it. But anyway, and then my internet would be going slow right now too, so I can't find it. But James Cook, and if you guys happen to have it, pull it up for me. and drop that in the chat. But I wanted to see James Cook's receiving yards this year so far. So incorporate James Cook, get him involved, get establish that run, because I feel like last week against the Chiefs, I thought the Bills, they got away from the run too soon. In the second half, they really got away from it. And I think that's what kind of stalled the offense out and allowed the Chiefs to kind of get back in the game. So if the Bills can establish that run, and I'm not saying that James Cook needs to run the ball 20 to 25 times a game. That's not what I'm saying. But when it's working, keep it up. Keep it up. And don't go away from it until the Cowboys can prove that they can stop it. Okay? And secondly, for me, another key for Bills' victory is up front, the offensive line. I need the Buffalo Bills offensive line to make sure they keep Josh Allen upright. Because Micah Parsons is a problem and a half. That brother's a problem. And the way they utilize him all across, all up and down that defensive line, it could cause problems. It really could up front. And so the protection has to be on point for the Buffalo Bills. They have to make sure that they're communicating at a high level and find out and identify where Micah Parsons is at all times. At all times. Because if they let that brother loose and they start to spring a leak across the offensive line, it's going to be a long game for the Buffalo Bills. So protection. And it can also go into Joe Brady's scheme, how he decides to utilize, Josh. Quick passing, some screens, roll the pocket, move the pocket, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature to kind of keep Micah Parsons, guessing. You don't want to have Josh Allen sitting back in the pocket and just allowing those guys in that pass rush just to tee off. Okay. Next on offense, my next key. I need them to find a way to get Stephon Diggs involved. I need them to find a way to get him back involved and get him going in this game. Now, he's going to have his hands full against Stephon Gilmore. Now, how, I don't want to use the word healthy, but how strong will Stephon be, coming off of the sickness? I don't know. A long trip in the rain and it's cold. We'll see. Stephon, he is still proven to be a top cornerback in the National Football at 33 years old. At 33. But we know Stephon doesn't travel. You know what I'm saying? He does not travel. And so if the Bills may need to move Stephon Diggs around, you know what I'm saying, and pick their matchups there. However they decide to do it, I need them to get Diggs involved more. And I think they tried to do that last game in the wide receiver screen game, but, that just hasn't been working. For whatever reason, and it has not been working for Stephon Diggs in that wide receiver screen game. I don't know why. He's been dropping some passes, which is uncharacteristic of Stephon. But I trust Joe Brady to figure it out. But if the Dallas Cowboys defense finds a way to take Diggs out of the game, that's when the secondary guys need to come up. And I'm talking to you, Gabe Davis. And I on my show, I do that, put up or shut up almost every week. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it this week because the same guy is on the list every single week. And if I did it again this week, it was going to be the same guy. That's Gabe Davis. I need Gabe Davis to step up. When you have a number one wide receiver, you can expect defensive coordinators to try to scheme him out of the game. They're going to try to erase him from the game. That's when your secondary options need to step up. When you have a guy who is in a contract season and considering himself to be a wide receiver too, like Gabe Davis, you cannot have games where you just go 0-4. You know what I'm saying? You cannot have games where you get 0 targets, 0 catches. You can't have it and call yourself a wide receiver too. You cannot do that. And especially in a game like this. Now, he's going to be matched up against Bland, who we know what he does. We know what he's done. All those INTs. He's going to read Josh, and I hope Josh doesn't give him one. I hope he doesn't do it. But this might be the game because, I mean, you can target Bland. You really can. But you have to match him up. We saw that against the Cowboys against who was it? The Seahawks. They moved DK Metcalf and they put him on Bland because, again, they don't travel. The corners don't travel. And we saw what happened. DK Metcalf lit that brother up. You know what I'm saying? So if Gilmore's not going to travel, I'm moving Diggs and putting him on him. But nevertheless, Gabe Davis has to do more. He really does. We can't have this brother not doing anything. Okay? And then another key for me, offensively, I want to see this team go back to more 11 personnel. I said this, I think it was last week. It may have been a couple of weeks ago. But this is when the news came out that Dawson Knox was going to be returning to the team. Although I was glad and still am glad to see Dawson Knox return to the team, I thought that they had found something there offensively, especially with Joe Brady. They found something there in this 11 personnel with Dalton Kincaid. Then you had Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, and Khalil Shakir. They found something there that had been working. The offense had gotten to a rhythm. But then when Dawson Knox got back, my concern last week was like, man, I'm concerned that they're going to try to force feed this 12 personnel back after the offense has been accustomed to playing without him. And we could see a slight regression offensively because of it. And, well, we saw that against the Chiefs. I mean, they put up 20 points against the Chiefs. Now, granted, the defense is good, but there are some points where I'm like, man, it seemed like they were forcing it. I want to see more 11 personnel because to me, Dalton Kincaid is tight end 1 on the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion. Okay, no disrespect to Dawson Knox. He just is. He's tight end 1. If that brother doesn't drop any passes, he's fantastic. For a rookie tight end, he is doing a very good job. And Josh trusts him. I would like to see them go back to that personnel package and get Dalton Kincaid and Khalil Shakir more involved in that game. Because when we saw that working, it opened it up for Diggs. And when Diggs wasn't doing well, the secondary options weren't Gabe Davis. Because if you go 12 personnel, you've got Kincaid, Knox, Diggs, and Davis. Well, if Diggs is out, you've got Davis as the other receiver. I didn't like that. So when you go 11 personnel and you spread the ball out and you've got those 3 receivers, I like the look of Khalil Shakir. I think Khalil Shakir, man, every time he gets on the field, he produces. And I think that actually works better for the offense. Getting Diggs, Davis, Shakir, and Kincaid in there. So that's what I want to see. I think if the Bills are able to mix it up, personnel-wise on offense, stay on schedule ahead of the chains, the Bills are going to cruise to victory. They really are, because the Cowboys don't want no part of the Buffalo Bills this game. They really don't. I'm just going to be honest. And it's like Glenn says. Glenn Goulet says, Shakir needs to be a constant part of the game plan. I agree. He has to be involved more. Because when you're not getting it out of your quote-unquote number 2 in Gabe Davis, I mean, Khalil Shakir, to me, should get more targets. He should get more targets than Gabe Davis. He really should, and that's just my opinion. But every time he gets on the field, man, the brother just does something, man. He plays. Now, Kim Betts says Davis is due for a good game. Kim, I sure hope so. I hope this is it. I mean, boom or bust Gabe, right? So maybe this is the game in which he booms. You know, I hope that happens for the Bills' sake. I still don't trust Gabe Davis on a consistent basis to do it. I don't. It's just so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. But I'm not going to harp too much on Gabe Davis because I've done it every single week. So those to me are my keys. Offensively, establish a run, get James Cook involved, get Stephon Diggs involved early and often. However you decide to do it, just do it. Protect Josh Allen. Make sure you key in on Micah Parsons and don't let that brother go off. And then mix up your personnel. Mix up your personnel and go back more to your 11 personnel. Spread the ball out like that. Because one thing we do know is that Josh Allen is weatherproof. So even in a deluge of rain, Josh Allen is not going to have a problem we can expect for the most part that Josh Allen is going to do his thing in this game. That's why I feel good about it. And it's also why it's time for some score predictions, baby. We're an hour and 30 minutes into the show. Now it's time for some score predictions. I need you guys to drop it in the chat right now. Jason Thomas says, yo, Shakir, baby. I need to have Shakir in this game. I need to have him. And you know what? He could be an unsung hero in this game, especially if they go to 11 personnel. Because let's just say the Cowboys and they scheme and they're able to erase Stephon Diggs with Gilmore. Let's say Gabe Davis doesn't do squat, okay, against Bland. So who's your other weapon? Dalton Kincaid. Okay. Well, maybe they match up well against them with the safeties. But if you bring in Khalil Shakir, that's a different story. Plus James Cook out of the backfield. That's right there. Could be the keys right there. They could be spotlight heroes of the game. Khalil Shakir and James Cook in the passing game. So, with that being said, Bills Mafia, let me drop my music so we can get back in the feeling, in the groove of things here. Here it is. There we go. Score prediction time, baby. Drop your score predictions in the chat. I got Jason Thomas saying, Bills 30, Cowboys 23. Augustine says 28 Bills, Cowboys 14. Oh my God. Cowboys only scoring 14 points. Wouldn't that be something? Tim Best comes in and says, 27-24 Bills. So she calls it a close game. She calls it a close game. And the Bills are favorites. Williams comes in. 31-24 Bills. I like it. Let me see here. I've got Ian Fetterman. Bills 31. Cowboys 24. My man, Silas Whittle. Shout out, Silas. He says, Bills 30. Cowboys 21. Mike's moving on the map. 24-10. Buffalo. I like it. Here we go. 40 burger. Drop that burger in the chat. We got a 40 burger here. Christopher comes in. Christopher Roseboro says, Bills are going to blow the brakes off of the Cowboys. We're doing a 40-19. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I would love to see that, to be honest. I would absolutely love to see that. Richard Ford comes in. The Bills 34. Cowboys 23. Laura 28-17. Bills. Here we go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm talking about. I'm wondering where the Cowboys, all these Cowboys these Bills haters and these Cowboys, where'd they go? Where'd they go? I'm waiting for them to come in here. And I don't see them. Looks like they left. Advanced Hood Cleaning Solutions. 28-25 Bills. We got this. You doggone right we got this. You doggone right. Rhonda comes in. Bills 33, Cowboys 21. That is what I'm talking about. Richard Forbes says, yo, big dubs. Big dubs. Big dubs. Hey, yo, shout out to everybody, man, who has joined. I've seen a lot of y'all coming here, join the channel. Yo, shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Brittany. Shout out to everybody, man, who's joined. Much love. Courtney says, Bills 28, Cowboys 20. Frank Ashcraft comes in. Bills 33, Cowboys 24. Oh, man. I love it. And Pat the Ripper, yo, shout out to the best fan base in all those professional sports, baby. Bills Mafia. Shout out, no doubt. Here we go. That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting for some Cowboys fans to come in here. Dallas Cowboys 2011 says, yo, Cowboys 24, Bills 20. After all that noise, he says it's a close game. Cowboys win by 4. All right. Now, yo, Calvin Ashley. Bills 51, Cowboys 25. If the Bills beat the snot out of the Cowboys like that, Josh Allen MVP. You know what I'm saying? No doubt. Now, let me give my score prediction. My score prediction for this game. A close game. Do I see it being a close game? I think it could be a one-score game. I think it could be. I'm looking at the Cowboys. Let me go back because I want to look at their road. The schedule on the road. Hold on. Let me pull that up real quick. On the road, their wins were again. I mean, against bad teams. The Giants in Week 1 that blew them out 40-0. Carolina Panthers, they're horrible, 33-10. But a team in the Chargers 5-9. They won by 3 points, 20-17. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, that doesn't mean anything in terms of this game. But when I look at it, on the road, this team is not the same. The Cowboys are not the same on the road. So I am going to say the Cowboys will have a score of, I'll give them 20. I'm going to give the Cowboys 20 points. 20 points by the Cowboys. The Buffalo Bills, though, $28. Bills 28, Cowboys 20. I almost wanted to spread that thing out a little bit by 2 scores, but I kept it in by 1 score, 8 points. Maybe there's a 2-point conversion involved in there somewhere. 28-20, your Buffalo Bills with the victory over the Dallas Cowboys. And the Bills make it 2-0 on their quest to go undefeated the rest of the regular season, punching in their ticket to the postseason and their division win. Stealing that thing back from the Miami Dolphins. That's how I see it, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll see what happens. I definitely feel confident, though, about this game. I really do. Because the Bills are locked and loaded. They're in playoff mode. And they're not going to lose. They ain't going to lose. All right? They are not going to lose. So let's get ready for this game, man. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you come back tomorrow for the pregame show because you know that thing is going to be off the chain. I don't know if y'all say off the chain anymore. I may have just dated myself, but I say that I don't care. Myself, Rico. I don't know if Z-Bot's gonna join. He may join, he may not. But it's gonna be fire. Okay. So make sure you stay tuned for that tomorrow. And then during the game, you want to make sure that you Mr. Big Fella himself. Mr. Remember Who We Have himself. We've got y'all covered, baby. You don't want to go anywhere else. But until next time, man, enjoy the rest of your night. We'll see y'all tomorrow. As always, baby, grace and peace. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I saw it. I saw it. Kim Bet said it. And I saw it. And I'm going to say it. Kim Betts is closing us out with an On My Mama take. And Kim Betts says, on my mama, Bills are going to the Super Bowl. Well, that's it. That's it. That's it, baby. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. If Kim says it, it's a wrap. Bills are going all the way. They are not losing another game. Keep the faith, Bills Mafia. Keep the faith. The story is being written right before our very eyes. And when it's all said and done, we're going to see our beloved Buffalo Bills hoisting up that Lombardi trophy. But until then, we got to take care of business against the Dallas Cowboys. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. All right? So, again, shout out to everybody. I love y'all so much. Enjoy the rest of your night. Grace and peace. God bless. And as always, and until next time, baby, go Bills.